Alright, let's jump back to Marvel's 25th anniversary with the Incredible Hulk 322. Hulk vs. the Avengers by Al Milburn. Excellent cover here with Hulk defeated, but it does give away the outcome entirely. I suppose you could convince yourself that it is a symbolic cover, but it's not. It is literal. This is exactly how it ends. We have both Avengers teams and She-Hulks, and they are battling a mindless, rampaging Hulk. Continuing on from the last issue, rather than explain the backstory to you, there's an entire page of very awkward exposition delivered here. You wouldn't believe that the Avengers are about to run into battle with how verbose they are. They are explaining what just happened, what must have been 10 seconds ago for them. She-Hulks, she tried to calm Hulk down, but then Hulk even attacked her. And that is the main thing that makes the argument for the Avengers, that this Hulk is an unfeeling monster that needs to be stopped. Elsewhere at the hospital, David Banner is writhing and whinging. And what on earth is his missus wearing? I know it is the 80s, but who wears shoulder pads to the emergency room? We get fed the important information that David Banner needs to be re-merged with Hulk or he will likely die. It sure is good that a random doctor at a regular hospital can triage such a unique individual condition. Back with the Avengers, I want to say Al Milburn's art has taken a dip after last issue's quality, but also his writing is very jarring now. This bit with Captain America seems like a joke comic even. We have still got Diane reporting on this. I think she has had a makeover between issues. Her hair never had this volume before. The rampage has been going on for so long, she has been able to grow out her hair during it all. More fighting over here. The fighting is great. The writing attached to it is a bit hit or miss. We have two continuity references here, and one is decent, and the other leaves me cold. The good one is that Captain America compares the Avengers' dilemma to the very recent Secret Wars II, where they were faced with much the same problem, an obscenely powerful enemy that their only hope of stopping was by killing them. It is a good connection to make, not only in its timing, but it feels relevant here, and like something that Captain America would think of. Of course, is the Al Milburn connection between the two stories as well. The other is that Seaman mentions how he teamed up with Hulk to fight the Avengers in Avengers 3. This is a stupid reference, because it is forever ago, it has little relevance here, and Seaman has had more meaningful interactions and team-ups with Hulk in things like Defenders since then. There's no reason he would see Hulk and think of that green guy I teamed up with once in the 60s. He would think, my teammate in the Defenders, or God forbid, my friend. The fighting is, for the most part, satisfying. It knows to focus on the ones that stand a chance against Hulk. I do wish we got to see the others do something though. Like, would it hurt to have Darth Knight get a panel somewhere along the way where he is thinking to himself, my sword is one of the only things that could actually hurt Hulk, but this fighting is so busy and intense that I can't get close enough to do anything. And then Captain Marbles, the real one, Monica Rambeau, she is given the role of recharging Iron Man's batteries. Wonder Man fights Hulk, and we have Al Milburn hit on something that he will keep doing with Wonder Man, even though it was done and dusted. In the late 70s, Wonder Man developed a fear of dying when they were fighting Ultron. He suddenly was afraid that he could actually die. He didn't want to return to the state that he had been in before his return to life. However, this was resolved when they were fighting Korvac Dallas 2 years later. He put that fear to bed and accepted that the fear is worse than dying. He was over it. It was great. A nice, completed character arc. In the Satan miniseries, not that long after this, in the Avengers one, Al Milburn still pulls the same thing out of his arse. He has Wonder Man afraid of dying again. It just feels like he read the Ultron story, but didn't actually read the payoff later, so he thinks it's still part of Wonder Man's overall character. Back at the hospital, we have Jennifer Connelly, or Liv Tyler, with Dickie Jones, and she really comes across as a bad person in this issue. It doesn't feel like she is out to save David Banner. It feels like she wants to use Hulk as an excuse to end things with David Banner is happy to die if it takes Hulk away too, and she is reluctant to allow that, but she is also reluctant to be with David Banner if he is Hulk. I was wrong though. The mysterious shadow person that Harrison Ford has been talking to wasn't Reader, but it is in fact SHIELD Special Agent Quarter Pounder. I forgot that he was in the mix because Jason Byrne forgot that he was in the mix. He appeared. He was set up in one of Jason Byrne's first issues on the series. I remember his big, shit-eating grin, and then he never appeared in any more Jason Byrne issues. And more importantly, where is Ramon? We have more fighting, Iron Man, Wonder Man, Hercules Man, Seaman, She-Hulks. They are the A-Team here. They are the heavy hitters. You knew I was going to mention it again, but Thor. I think Thor should be there. Thor was a reserve member, and of course, Thor versus Hulk is a common matchup. It is a famous fight we have seen over the years. What I think would make it different here is that Thor was very vulnerable at this point. He had been cursed by Cate Blanchett so that he couldn't die, but he felt pain. There's a good sequence in Avengers where Mr. Hind tries to charge him, probably trying to sodomize him. I think that version of Thor, a Thor that Hulk could really hurt, would have added so much to this story. It would hammer home the Avengers' feeling of hopelessness, pun there, hammer home, and it is Thor who has a magic hammer. They would say their most powerful member is weakened and unable to adequately battle Hulk. Hulk is so violent and angry that he has broken Thor's body. Completely missed opportunity. If you think that I am being unfair to Jennifer or Liv, she has a real low blow here aimed at Dickie Jones about the death of Captain Marbles, the real one, Marvel, and how the Avengers couldn't even save him from cancer. Hulk defeats Iron Man, he tears up his armour. Him breaking Thor's arm, or something like that, would have been more impactful. Just saying. And we start this lame crap that is trying to make a point about mob mentality and the want for blood. And how the Avengers, they are becoming as violent as Hulk in their fight. I do want to acknowledge, I've wanted to do so for 3 videos, this is our 3rd individual big smackdown with Hulk in the space of 25 issues. Before this we had 316, the Jason Byrne issue, kind of a precursor to this. I looked at that one and I reviewed it, and I did mention it a lot in my review of the previous issue. Before that though, we also had issue 300, which at the time was the big fight to end all big fights. We had the Avengers present in that, very similar lineup, but we also had Thor and other heroes like Spider-Man, Fantastic Force, Powerful Man and Iron Fist. My point is that we get to this 2 or 3 or even 4-part story a year, and this has to be it. We cannot keep bringing out the Avengers or a giant cast of heroes to fight Hulk every 10 issues. The good thing is, they either realised that, or coincidentally didn't do it again for long enough that it works. The next time he fights the Avengers isn't until Incredible Hulk 404. I think that is an appropriate amount of time to wait to have it happen again. And in that case, it's not a big deal. It's not a giant event like these past few fights have been. I think the next time a Hulk versus Avengers fight is meant to be as cataclysmic as this is. That one in the 2001, I think, where he tries to rape She-Hulks. That happened. He tries to mate with his cousin because he is horny. At least he beats the shit out of a Kurt Busey character. The Avengers are soon able to overpower, or at least outnumber, Hulk. I thought this defeat was a bit undercooked. They casually say a few times that he is getting weaker, but they just kind of pin him down and then he passes out. And Jennifer Connelly, or Liv Tyler, is annoying some more. And I know it was the 80s, but who wears shoulder pads to a Hulk fight? Doc Shannon, actually. Hulk is defeated, and there is our cover image. And now we begin the process of re-merging monster and man. Alpha Strike House advert over here. I had never seen this advert before. It doesn't make me want to read Bill Bungalow's Alpha Strike, but I liked seeing a new bit of art that I had never seen before. I will imagine good Alpha Strike stories on the back of this art instead of the ones they actually released. I think this is a step down from the previous one. A lot of the energy has faded. The fight with Hulk loses a lot of stakes when you don't have Hawkeye actually involving himself. The art and writing has lowered in quality too. But with that all said, there's still plenty of choice bits in this that are either good or fun. My version with Thor appearing would have been better, but that's not to say this Thorless version is bad. 7 thumbs up.